What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. TammyTalks here. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 14, Wreck-It Ralph. This episode was kind of boring. I haven't thought too many of the episodes this season were boring, but I thought this one was boring. Maybe I just wasn't into watching it tonight, but let's talk about it down below, y'all. So it starts off with Drew. So Drew is planning a mental health wellness event with her sister. Remember, a couple episodes ago, we found out that her sister spent some time in a mental health hospital after having like a nervous breakdown. So Drew wants to I think it was coming up on the year of her sister's release. Is that what it was? But she wants to support her sister and kind of give some of the other ladies some tips on different things that they can do to get a hold of their mental health, right? So Drew wants to have a bar. I said, oh girl, why would you even think that y'all was gonna have alcohol at this event? They were like, no, we gonna have some green juices, maybe a kombucha or something. We definitely not having no alcohol though. I don't know if Drew was being facetious or if she was serious, but I low-key feel like Drew really wanted some liquor there. No ma'am. Absolutely not. So we get Sanya. She wanted us to know she had a Rolex. Girl, you're rich. We expect you to have stuff like that. So she is telling Ross that, they're working on something. I forgot what she said they were working on, but she took a bunch of notes. So she is shuffling through this notebook, hands it to him. He opens the pages, and it's a pregnancy test in there. Shout out to the ad for Clear Blue. So he's excited, and she's like, I want to tell the family. So they put on these shirts. Hers says weird. The back of his shirt says pregnant. Sanya calls a meeting. Her sister's Nike outfit was super cute. Is Sanya endorsed by Nike? She must be, because we don't see her family in nothing else. They always have on Nike. So she does the same thing with, let me get the notebook. She turns around. Sanya must have forgot what word was on the back of her shirt. So it said pregnant where. Her sister, so Shaz caught it, and her dad caught it. Her mama was like, what? What happened? What I missed? I said, mama, damn, you didn't see the word pregnant? I don't know why that was so funny to me, because that is such like a mother thing. Like, what were you looking at if you weren't looking at them? Goodness gracious. So it's so funny because as soon as Sanya sits next to her sister, she was like, we're moving. Already found an apartment. Her mom was like, yep, same complex, same community. So we're not going to be your nanny. You're not going to try to, you're not going to coax us to stay a little longer now because you got this baby coming in. I really feel like Sanya should have thought about, or maybe Ross should have thought about this. Now, I understand wanting to have your house back to yourself. As a man, Ross wants to be able to, walk around in his drawers, I guess, whatever he wants to be able to do without like his sister-in-law being there or his mom being there. You know what I mean? Like, there's a different feeling, a different vibe that you have when you are by yourself. You know what I mean? If they want to have sex in the living room when Lil Deucey is gone to bed, they can do so without, when they get all these extra people out their house, right? So Sanya is like, well, we don't mind getting a nanny. Are you sure? Sanya has a hard enough time with Deuce. Let's be real, y'all. We don't exactly see Sanya with her son. So the fact that Ross is always back to where are they living at, Texas, with their car business, their car service company. We probably should have thought about this a little more. Nonetheless, babies are always blessings. So congratulations to Sanya. Her and Ross are a very good looking couple. Y'all know Ross is fine. Deucey is cute, so I'm sure that baby's going to be adorable as well. So we get Drew. Drew and Ralph are out on a little date night. At like a little like sports bar, little game bar, or whatever. So she's talking about her mental health, how she wants to make sure everything is good with her. He asks, you okay? She said, well, I've been on the verge of a breakdown sometimes, and you've seen that where they're crying, and I just need a hug. It's very important to get ahead of that. Especially just because I think I could be wrong, but I think that some of that is genetic as well. So if your sister is having those type of issues, you want to keep that in the back of your mind that you could possibly develop some of the same stuff. If I'm completely off base, y'all let me know. But I thought that mental health issues were genetic as well, right? So you want to get ahead of that. If you feel like you're on the verge of a breakdown and stuff like that, please go get the help that you need. You know what I mean? Don't let yourself completely fall. There are resources available. You know what I mean? So it's good that Drew is bringing light to this. I just hope that she's like super serious about this and it's not just a storyline because Allison is there. Like, don't make a storyline out of your sister's expense. So they start talking about marriage counseling, okay? Ralph feels that counseling is just going from topic to topic where you have one topic, then they point out something else you're doing wrong, then they point out something else you're doing wrong, and that's what leads to divorce. On one hand, I understand what Ralph is saying. On one hand, I do understand that, right? It does seem like you fix one issue and then right away it's to another issue. But at the same time, what Drew is saying is the purpose of counseling and therapy is for you to get to the root of where the issue stems from. So a lot of times, while you start with problem A and then it moves to problem B, then we figure out problem C, it's because we're trying to get to the root of the issue. So that's why it might seem like topic to topic to topic, but they're just delving deeper and deeper, peeling back the layers, peeling them back so we can get to the root of the problem. So I think it's silly that Drew is in marriage counseling by her damn self. Doesn't make sense, Ralph. Ralph then goes on to say that he's had less blow-ups since he hasn't been going. And I mean, I get this is very intellectual stuff. Drew said, I graduated early. People love saying that. People love saying that. Y'all, I used to say that I graduated at 17. I had just turned 17. I graduated. All that means is that my mama put me in kindergarten early. That's all that means. Drew said it quick. I graduated early. I was like, I know that's right, Drew. You smart. You is smart. That was so funny to me. Cause I feel like that'd be the first thing people say. If you graduate anything earlier than 18, people love to scream that out. I graduated early. Okay? I am somebody. No child left behind. So she said that what she's not going to do, though, is mother you or force you to do anything. I'm just going to focus on my growth. You see a snap in Ralph. In that moment, Ralph snaps. And now he's upset and now he's offended. She says, I'm not single. I am married and I would like you to meet me halfway. Nigga, come to marriage counseling. We're married. We are married. Crazy. So she then talks about how she's going to be busy coming up very soon. And she was like, because I got, she has the movie with Kandi. She has something else. She has, Drew said, I'm booked and busy for 2023. Ralph said, no, that's a problem because I'm busy too. So, we got these kids and the bottom line is she said, wait, they're your kids too. Todd does daddy daycare. Ralph said, I'm not doing daddy daycare. No, it's not daycare because it's your kids. You're raising them. Your kids are just at home with you. You're being a father. If it is one thing my father has never said when me and my brother were kids, is that he is babysitting us. You don't babysit your kids. You don't babysit your kids. They're yours. Babysitting is when I went by my cousin's house. We had 3 sets of older cousins that watched us. when I went to any of their houses, that was getting babysat. We were getting babysat them. But if my mom and her sister were out shopping or something and we were home with my dad wasn't babysitting us. We were home with our dad. So the fact that Ralph even said that, Ralph then said that he wants to be like Barack and Obama. Next scene. So we get Kenya. Kenya is having Kandi and Shamia over. Why isn't Shamia a friend of the show? I feel like Shamia pops up enough. Maybe they don't think she has enough to offer. But she tells them that she's thinking about having a baby. Kandi asks the important question, who's the daddy? Who you having a baby with? She goes on to tell them that she still has some embryos left from Mark. She wants to have the baby, but there's so many risks associated with that. Remember, Kenya had a rough pregnancy and then a horrible delivery where she said that at one point, they thought that they were going to lose her. So she they bring up the situation or the process of using a surrogate. So Shamia is now using Kandi's surrogate. Kenya, don't you use that same lady. Y'all get that lady a break. How old is Blaze? Blaze has to be, 2 or 3 at this point? Y'all get that lady, what's her name, Shandia? Give Shandia a break. But Kenya is saying how she thinks that she would be jealous of the surrogate. So Kandi's letting her know, no, it's not even like that. You're right in the hospital with her. You get admitted too. You get skin to skin right away. But it is going to come down to you as a person and how you deal with it. If you don't think that you will be able to deal with that, don't do it. Don't do it. So Kenya then switches over. Oh, before that, they talk about, is Mark even going to give the blessing? Kenya said in the divorce, when they were going through and outlining things, only one person gets control of the embryos. Kenya is that person. Kandi asks, are you going to go through with it if you don't have Mark's blessing? Shamia says she would. Shamia says she would. But I guess on TMZ, they caught up with Kenya and she is not going to use those embryos. So Kenya then brings up Sheree's birthday party. So apparently Sheree had a birthday dinner, did not invite Kandi or Kenya. Or Manetta, which I didn't expect her to invite Manetta anyways, but she only invited Marlo, Courtney, Sanya, and Cynthia, which is very interesting. Like, they're clearly prepping to bring Cynthia back to the show. Cynthia has been at everything. And I get it, Cynthia is now back in Atlanta, but Cynthia has been at everything. So apparently, the bill was $1,500. They wanted Martell to pay. Martell did not pay. Martell asked everybody there to cash out their portion. He said, we split checks over here. I'm torn on that. I don't think that Martell should have to pay. But I just feel like that subject is so touchy. We see so many videos about it being somebody's birthday and let's split the bill halfway through, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think that now if this is a party, yeah, did y'all come expecting to not pay? I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, $1,500 to them is not a lot. And by them, I'm talking the Housewives. $1,500 might not be a lot to Sheree. Kenya says she spent $1,500 that day. That's not a lot to her. It's not a lot to Sanya. But to Martell, that is a lot. Martell don't have no money. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Should Martell have paid? I don't know. I don't know about that. We get Sheree. She has her dog Gotti. Is that a cane corso? I mean, what's it called? A Connie? Is it called a Connie corso? So she got this big ass dog, and she is lying in her confessional saying that Martell bought her an Alexander McQueen bag. No, he didn't. You know he didn't. If that man can't afford $1,500 for dinner, he can't afford to get you no Alexander McQueen bag. Did he put it on Klarna? Did he afterpay it? Stop it, Sheree. Then we find out that Sheree has an AOL email. Girl, what? My dad just got rid of his AOL email last year, and it's because it don't work no more. Sheree, why you giving them people a email that's not gonna work? You can't log into AOL anymore. You can't. We see a scene with Drew and Kandi showing up for this table read. Drew feels that Kandi has not yet apologized, but she already knows the truth. Let it go, Drew, at this point. Kandi now realizes this was stupid. Now you do, Kandi? You did too much. I understand not wanting to be called a liar, but like nobody called you a liar but Drew. We watched the table read. I mean, the movie looks interesting enough. I would watch it if it was on like a Netflix or a Tubi. So then we get to this mental health retreat. I thought the retreat was boring. Um, and when I mean boring, I mean like content wise for the show. I don't know why this was even filmed because nothing really happened. So Ralph and Ross walk in. Ralph goes to greet Drew. She hugs Ross first. Okay? Drew hugs Ross first. You never greet another person before your spouse. As a woman, if your husband walks in with a friend, you never greet the other man first. I don't know what Drew was on, but no, ma'am. So Ross is, petty. So he goes and he hugs and greets all the other ladies. So Drew was standing there. My husband's here. He just came in. Hey, husband. He's here. He didn't even say anything. I didn't even see him. Hey, husband. And it's like, Drew, why are you making a big deal about this? Why are you making a scene? It's like Drew wants to embarrass herself so that she can play victim. Because why would you make a big deal about this? Why are you trying to embarrass yourself? It's bad enough everybody saw him go around and ignore you, but not everybody saw you ignore him first. Everybody didn't see that. So when Ralph said you walked right past me, Drew did greet Ross first. I don't know what was on her mind that she would greet Ross first. We hear Ralph even tell Ross, yeah, I just got here. She greeted you. I thought she was coming to hug me. She hugged you. Come on, Drew. So Drew was like, well, he's been different since date night. He's probably been different since just now when you hugged another man in his face first. Come on, girl. So Cynthia's here too. Cynthia's at everything, y'all. We like Miss Bailey. So Cynthia's here. They do this like little meditation moment where they tell everybody to take off their shoes. Take off their shoes, go into this space. We're going to meditate. And Kandi has a little moment, and like everybody, well, those of us that watch the Queens of R&B show, this is Housewives was filmed fresh off of that, where Kandi's going through all that stuff with her group. She now has her mama, who never will like Todd. Todd is complaining that Kandi's not doing this for him. Sheree and Kenya are bringing up that she's never around. Kandi is stressed on top of the fact that she's filming The Shy and she's filming all this other stuff and she's doing Broadway. She busy, y'all. She's stressed. So she has a moment. She gets a little emotional, but Kandi's gonna pull through, right? Marlo is like, it stinks in here. I don't know if it's their feet or what. Girl, you the only one that said you ain't had no socks on. You the one walking around in them Yeezy 500, what was those? The Yeezy 450s, and you don't have no socks on. It could have been your feet smelling like that. Whatever. Sheree feels that the trip to Portugal inspired this. Happy to be an inspiration. Your trip sucked, okay? Y'all didn't do no healing in Portugal. Y'all fought every chance y'all got. Sheree then, they're sitting around having like a little meal afterwards. Sheree asked Drew about the court case and if she won. Drew said that it would take 30 days for the official verdict. What does that mean? I have never been sued like that. What does that mean? Does it take 30 days? You don't get a verdict right away? I guess. Cynthia's like, what case? And it's like, Cynthia, But Cynthia don't know. So Drew said that they hired this chef. The chef hired this lady to cook. She comes in, there was hair in the food. She then asks, is there anything else she can do? Y'all say, sure, you can't cook and you're not clean enough to cook to where you have hair in the food, but we'll let you watch our kids. Does that make any type of sense? If I hire you to cook and you're not clean enough, you're not careful enough, you're not sanitary enough to make sure there's no hair in my food, why do I think that you are clean enough or sanitary enough to watch my children? So they said that Drew hired this lady to come in to watch the kids. She came in, made herself a plate, and did not interact with the kids. So they told her, thank you for your services, but no thank you. She billed them $1,000, invoiced them. Drew then said a year later, there's a sheriff knocking on the door and we're being sued for $10,000. Girl, when did it jump up $9,000? You were crying in Portugal about it being $1,000. Bravo pulls up the court papers, it's $1,000. What are you lying for, Drew? One thing I can't stand and I will never understand is people that get on reality TV and lie about things that can be fact checked. Don't lie about something that can be fact checked. We can pull up the lawsuit. So everybody is like, oh, 10,000. Okay, Drew. And everybody, you can tell when people just don't even want to get into your lies because everybody just got quiet and was like, okay. Nobody was like, dang, wow. Everybody was just like, okay, Drew, because you lying for no reason. Kenya brings up Sheree's birthday party. Sheree says she invited people she's known for 30 years. You have known Sanya for about a year and a half. It has not been 30 years. You have known Marlo for maybe 10 years. It has not been 30 years. Kandi said her invitation must have got lost in the mail. Cynthia said, I thought you were just busy. That's why you went there. Sheree said, I didn't invite you, Kandi, because you don't show up to group things. I didn't think you would come to this. Now, I thought that was shady. Like, that's rude. That's rude. Kandi said, I actually got home that day from a show and I would have come, Sheree. So Sheree say, no, you wouldn't have. Kandi would say, yes, I would have. And I guess, has Kandi not shown up to anything that you have personally invited her to before? Because everything that we've seen so far this season that Sheree has had, Kandi's been at. Just say that you didn't want her there. I prefer that you just be real. I didn't want you there. Don't make up a lie and make it seem like I just don't come to anything. So Sheree then points out that, Cynthia points out, y'all kind of split. Y'all are divided. I says, look at Cynthia coming in with the mess, being messy. So Marietta brings up the fact that Courtney called Drew a bitch. Now, Marietta, the way that Courtney was saying it wasn't like, man, that bitch, F her. That's not how she said it. They were all talking and she was like, this bitch here? It wasn't like malicious or anything like that. Bravo shows the footage. Courtney is lying and saying she didn't. You on reality TV says, remember your friend Marlo and Marietta were both filming. So we have the footage. Courtney is saying that she don't even say that word. Everybody else is like, I say bitch all the time. It's not a big deal. So then Courtney is like, bitch, I didn't say that. And they're like, you just said it now. For the first time ever. Y'all don't bring Courtney back. Because Courtney just, cousin Courtney. Cousin Courtney, y'all. So then they all go outside to take a group picture. Sanya has on this shirt that says I'm pregnant, jumps in the front, opens her jacket. They take the picture. She decides to airdrop it to everybody. Drew said that it was a social media stunt. How is taking a picture and sending it directly to you social media? Drew literally just says whatever comes to her head. Her and Sanya in this beef that they have, where they just feel they need to shade each other for absolutely no reason, is annoying. Because y'all be saying stuff that don't make sense. Me taking a picture and texting it to the people in the picture is not a social media stunt. And you gonna say she graduated early? You probably should have stayed a little later, sis. You probably should have stayed a little later. Finally, we get a scene of Drew meeting with Dr. Kim. He comes over. She tells them that her and Drew did go, her and Ralph went out on a little date night, spiraled into a disagreement. Ultimately, Drew feels that Ralph can't gaslight her anymore. She thinks they are now disconnected in their marriage and that the emotional awareness is lacking. She doesn't think that Ralph cares about her. Girl, he don't. Okay? He don't care about you or how you feel or how he treats you. But you knew that already. And that's why y'all end up divorced, a couple episodes later. But that was really it for this episode. Let me know what you guys thought about it down below. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, thumbs up the video. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.